Hello, amazing students, and welcome back to Easy English Channel. I'm Marco, and this is my co-host, Erica, and we are absolutely thrilled to have you here today for what might be the most important English lesson you'll ever watch.
That's right, Marco. Before we dive into today's game-changing content, we have a crucial question for our Easy English family. Tell us in the comments right now. How many minutes do you currently spend studying English each day? Be honest. Are you spending 2 hours feeling overwhelmed, or maybe just 5 minutes and feeling guilty about it?
We want to hear from every single one of you because today's method works regardless of your current study time. Now, here's something that's going to shock you. What if I told you that just 10 minutes of the right kind of English practice every day could transform your fluency faster than hours of traditional studying?
I know what you're thinking because I thought the same thing 5 years ago when I was struggling with my own language learning. 10 minutes? That's impossible. But here's the truth that changed everything for me. It's not about the quantity of time you spend studying. It's about the quality and the specific method you use.
We've tested this exact system with over 3,000 students in the past 2 years, and the results are absolutely incredible. Students who couldn't string together a basic conversation are now confidently speaking at business meetings, traveling the world, and even teaching others.
The science behind micro-learning success. So let me ask you something personal. Have you ever tried to learn English by studying for 3 hours straight on weekends? How did that work out for your long-term progress? Most of our students tell us they felt exhausted, overwhelmed, and couldn't remember half of what they studied by Monday.
That's exactly what happened to me when I was learning my third language, and it's happening because of something called cognitive overload. Your brain is like a sponge. It can only absorb so much at once before it starts leaking information everywhere.
But here's where the magic happens with our 10-minute method. Scientists at the University of California discovered that our brains actually learn and retain information better through something called spaced repetition, combined with focused micro-sessions. Think of it like watering a plant. A little bit every day creates healthy growth, while dumping a bucket of water once a week kills the plant.
The research shows that when you study for exactly 10 minutes with the right techniques, your brain enters what neuroscientists call the optimal learning zone. You're focused enough to absorb new information, but not so overwhelmed that you can't process it effectively.
And here's the part that blew my mind when I first learned about it. Your brain continues processing and strengthening these English patterns for up to 6 hours after your 10-minute session ends. It's like having a personal English tutor working in your subconscious mind all day long.
Exercise. 1. The focus test. Right now, I want you to set a timer for exactly 2 minutes. Choose any English paragraph from a book, article, or even this video's description. Read it out loud, then immediately write down 3 main ideas you remember. Notice how clear and focused you feel with this short time limit. This is the power we're going to harness.
Your personal English learning blueprint.
Now, I need you to be completely honest with yourself for a moment. When you think about your English learning journey so far, what's been your biggest challenge? Is it understanding native speakers when they talk fast? Is it finding the right words when you want to express your thoughts? Or maybe it's that voice in your head saying, "I'll never sound natural"?
Whatever your answer is, I want you to know that you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not broken. I remember sitting in a coffee shop in London 3 years ago, desperately wanting to order something other than coffee, please, but being too terrified to try. That fear and frustration you might be feeling right now? I've been there.
The beautiful thing about our 10-minute system is that it's designed around one simple truth. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Instead of trying to become fluent overnight, we're going to build your English skills like constructing a house, one solid brick at a time.
Here's your personal blueprint, and I want you to think of this as your daily English recipe. Just like baking a cake, if you follow the exact ingredients and timing, you'll get predictable, delicious results every time. Our recipe has 4 key ingredients that take exactly 10 minutes to combine.
Ingredient number 1 is active input. This is where you feed your brain with carefully selected English content. Ingredient 2 is focused output, where you practice expressing your thoughts. Ingredient 3 is pattern recognition, where you train your brain to notice how English really works. And ingredient 4 is emotional connection, where you make the learning stick by connecting it to your personal experiences.
The magic happens when you combine all 4 ingredients in the right proportions every single day. Think of it like going to the gym. You wouldn't expect to see results from one intense workout, but 10 minutes of the right exercises every day will transform your body over time. Morning routine, starting strong every day.
Let me paint a picture for you. It's 7:30 in the morning, and while most people are checking social media or rushing through breakfast, you're about to do something that will set you apart from 99% of English learners. You're going to start your day by programming your brain for English success.
I have to share something embarrassing with you. For 2 years, I tried to study English at night when I was exhausted from work. Can you guess how well that worked? I'd fall asleep with my textbook on my face. But when I switched to morning practice, everything changed because your brain is fresh, focused, and ready to absorb new patterns.
Your morning routine should feel like a gentle warm-up for your brain, not a sprint. The first 3 minutes are what we call English immersion wake-up. Instead of checking your phone, you're going to listen to natural English conversation. It could be a podcast, YouTube video, or even the audio from your favorite English TV show.
But here's the crucial part that most people miss. You're not trying to understand every single word. You're training your ear to recognize the rhythm, melody, and flow of English. It's like tuning a musical instrument. Your brain starts to calibrate itself to English frequencies.
Exercise 2. The morning ear training. Tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, put on English audio for exactly 3 minutes. Don't read subtitles. Don't take notes. Just listen. Notice how the language sounds different at different times of day. Your brain is most receptive to new sound patterns within the first hour of waking up. Minutes 4 through 7 are dedicated to what we call shadow speaking. This is where you're going to play a short English video or audio clip and try to repeat what you hear, almost like an echo. Don't worry about being perfect. Think of yourself as a baby learning to talk.
I know this might feel awkward at first because it did for me too. I remember thinking, I sound ridiculous. But here's what I learned. Babies don't worry about sounding silly when they're learning to speak, and neither should you. Your brain is literally rewiring itself to produce English sounds naturally. Active listening techniques that actually work.
Can I ask you something that might make you uncomfortable? When you watch English movies or listen to English songs, how much do you actually understand without subtitles? If you're like most of our students, the answer might be less than I'd like to admit, and that's perfectly okay, because we're going to fix that right now.
The problem with traditional listening practice is that most people are what I call passive listeners. They put on English content in the background while doing other things, hoping that somehow the language will magically absorb into their brain. But your brain doesn't work that way. It needs active engagement to create lasting neural pathways.
Active listening is like the difference between looking at a painting and actually studying every brushstroke. When you actively listen, you're training your brain to catch not just words, but emotions, intentions, and cultural nuances that make you sound like a native speaker.
Here's a technique that completely transformed my listening skills in just 2 weeks. I call it the three-layer method. Layer 1. Listen for emotions. Is the speaker happy, frustrated, excited, or confused? Layer 2. Listen for the main message. What's the speaker trying to communicate? Layer 3. Listen for specific words and phrases that you can use in your own conversations.
Exercise 3. The three-layer challenge. Find a 2-minute English video about any topic that interests you. Watch it 3 times. First time, focus only on emotions and tone. Second time, focus on the main message. Third time, write down 5 specific phrases you heard. This trains your brain to process English at multiple levels simultaneously. The beautiful thing about active listening is that it works with any English content: news reports, comedy shows, business presentations, or casual conversations. Your brain starts to recognize patterns automatically, and suddenly you'll find yourself understanding accents and speaking speeds that used to seem impossible.
Speaking practice without fear or embarrassment. I need to share something vulnerable with you. 3 years ago, I was so afraid of speaking English that I would literally rehearse ordering coffee in my head for 10 minutes before approaching the counter. Does this sound familiar to you? Have you ever had the perfect response to a question, but only thought of it 2 hours after the conversation ended?
That fear you might be feeling about speaking English. It's not a language problem, it's a confidence problem. And confidence comes from one thing: practice in a safe environment where making mistakes is not just okay, it's celebrated as part of the learning process.
Here's what I discovered that changed everything for me. You don't need another person to practice speaking English effectively. In fact, some of the most powerful speaking practice happens when you're alone, because there's no pressure, no judgment, and no fear of embarrassment.
We're going to teach you a technique called mirror conversations. Every day for exactly 2 minutes, you're going to have a conversation with yourself in the mirror. I know it sounds strange, but professional actors use this technique to prepare for roles, and it works because your brain can't tell the difference between practicing with yourself and practicing with another person. Exercise 4. Your first mirror conversation. Stand in front of a mirror right now. Introduce yourself as if you're meeting a new friend. Talk about your day, your dreams, or your favorite food. Speak for exactly 1 minute without stopping. Notice how your mouth feels forming English sounds, and celebrate every word you say clearly.
The second speaking technique is what we call story spiraling. You start with a simple sentence like, "Yesterday was interesting," and then you add one detail at a time until you've created a complete story. This trains your brain to think in English, rather than translating from your native language.
Here's why this works so powerfully. When you practice speaking alone, you're building what neuroscientists call muscle memory for English. Your mouth, tongue, and vocal cords are learning the physical movements needed to produce natural English sounds without the stress of real-time conversation pressure.
Reading strategies for rapid vocabulary growth.
Let me ask you a question that might surprise you. When you read English text, do you try to understand every single word, or do you allow yourself to guess and move forward? Most students get stuck in what I call the dictionary trap, stopping every few seconds to look up unknown words until reading becomes a frustrating, slow process.
I used to be the worst at this. I would read one paragraph and look up 15 words, and by the time I finished looking everything up, I had completely forgotten what I was reading about. Sound familiar? The breakthrough came when I learned that native speakers don't know every word they encounter either. They use context clues and keep reading.
Effective reading in English is like being a detective. You're collecting clues and evidence to solve the mystery of meaning, even when you don't have all the puzzle pieces. This is exactly how children learn to read in their native language. They guess, they use pictures, they use context, and gradually their understanding grows.
Here's the reading strategy that will transform your vocabulary faster than any other method: the power paragraph technique. You choose one paragraph from any English text that interests you. It could be news, fiction, or even social media posts. You read this paragraph 5 times over 5 days, but each time with a different focus.
Exercise. 5. Power paragraph. Challenge: choose one paragraph from any English source right now. Day 1. Read for general understanding. Day 2. Circle words you don't know but can guess from context. Day 3. Identify the main idea in one sentence. Day 4. Find connecting words like however, therefore, because. Day 5. Rewrite the paragraph in your own words. The magic happens because repetition with different focuses builds multiple neural pathways to the same information. By day 5, not only will you understand that paragraph completely, but you'll have internalized new vocabulary and sentence structures that you can use in your own speaking and writing.
What I love most about this technique is that it works with any level of English text. Whether you're reading children's books or advanced articles, the process remains the same, and your brain gets stronger with each repetition cycle. Writing skills, from thoughts to fluent expression. I want you to think about the last time you tried to write something in English, maybe an email, a social media post, or a text message. Did you spend more time thinking about grammar rules than expressing your actual thoughts? This is one of the biggest obstacles that keeps intermediate learners stuck at their current level.
Writing in English should feel like having a conversation on paper, not like solving a complex math equation. The problem is that most English courses teach writing as a series of rules to follow, rather than a natural way to share your ideas and experiences with others.
Here's a truth that might shock you. Native English speakers break grammar rules all the time when they write informally, and their writing still sounds natural and clear. The secret isn't perfect grammar. It's authentic expression that connects with your reader on an emotional level.
We're going to teach you a writing method called stream of consciousness that will revolutionize how you express yourself in English. For exactly 2 minutes each day, you're going to write continuously without stopping, without editing, and without worrying about mistakes. Exercise. 6. 2-minute stream writing. Set a timer for 2 minutes right now. Write about anything that comes to mind: your morning, your dreams, your favorite memory, or even how you're feeling about learning English. Don't stop writing until the timer goes off. Don't worry about spelling, grammar, or making sense. Just let your thoughts flow onto paper.
This exercise is magical because it trains your brain to think directly in English rather than translating from your native language. When you write without stopping, you bypass the part of your brain that wants to edit and criticize every word, allowing your natural English expression to emerge.
After you complete your 2-minute stream writing, you'll do what we call a clarity rewrite. You take your original stream and rewrite it into 3 clear sentences that capture your main thoughts. This teaches you to refine your ideas while maintaining authentic expression.
Evening review. Locking in your daily progress.
Your evening review is like saving your progress in a video game. It ensures that all the English patterns you practiced during the day become permanent parts of your language ability, rather than temporary memories that fade overnight.
The science behind evening review is fascinating. While you sleep, your brain moves information from short-term memory to long-term memory through a process called memory consolidation. But this only happens effectively if you give your brain the right signals before sleep.
Your evening routine takes exactly 3 minutes and has 3 simple steps. Step 1. Today's new discovery. You identify one new English word. phrase, or pattern you learned today. Step 2. Personal connection. You create a sentence using this new discovery that relates to your own life. Step 3. Tomorrow's intention. You decide how you'll use this new knowledge in tomorrow's practice. Exercise 7. Evening Success Journal. Before you go to bed tonight, write 3 things. 1 new English discovery from today, 1 sentence using that discovery in your personal context, and 1 specific way you'll practice it tomorrow. This 3-step process takes less than 2 minutes, but dramatically improves retention.
What I love about the evening review is that it creates a positive ending to each day of English learning. Instead of focusing on what you didn't understand or mistakes you made, you're celebrating progress and building momentum for tomorrow.
Many of our students tell us that the evening review became their favorite part of the day because it's when they realize how much they're actually learning and improving, even when progress feels slow during the day.
Motivation and mindset transformation. Before we wrap up with your challenge, I need to address something that might be holding you back more than any grammar rule or vocabulary gap. It's the voice in your head that says things like, "I'm too old to learn," "I don't have talent for languages," or "I'll never sound like a native speaker."
I want to share something personal with both of you. When I started learning English seriously, I was 28 years old and convinced that I had missed my chance. I thought language learning was something you had to start as a child, and I felt embarrassed every time I made mistakes.
The transformation happened when I stopped trying to be perfect and started trying to be understood. I realized that communication isn't about flawless grammar. It's about connecting with other people, sharing ideas, and building relationships.
Your English learning journey isn't a race against time or a competition with other learners. It's a personal adventure where every small step forward is a victory worth celebrating. The 10-minute method works because it removes the pressure and makes progress feel natural and sustainable. Exercise 8. Mindset Reset Declaration. I want you to say this out loud right now. I am capable of learning English fluently. Every day I practice, I become more confident and skilled. Mistakes are part of my learning process, not evidence of failure. I celebrate progress, not perfection. Say it with conviction because your brain believes what you tell it repeatedly.
Call to action. Your 30-day challenge begins now. This is the moment where everything changes for you. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. We're challenging you to commit to our 10-minute method for exactly 30 days, and we're going to support you every step of the way.
Here's your simple daily checklist. 3 minutes of morning listening immersion, 2 minutes of mirror speaking practice, 2 minutes of active reading with the power paragraph technique, 2 minutes of stream of consciousness writing, and 1 minute of evening review. That's it. 10 minutes that will transform your English forever.
We want to hear about your journey. Comment below with "I accept the challenge" and tell us what English goal you want to achieve in the next 30 days. Will you finally have that confident conversation with a native speaker? Will you watch your favorite English movie without subtitles? Will you write that email you've been putting off?
Remember, you're not doing this alone. You're part of the Easy English family, and we're here to support, encourage, and celebrate your progress every single day. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss our daily motivation and advanced techniques.
Your fluent English future starts with the next 10 minutes you choose to invest in yourself. We believe in you. We're proud of you for watching this entire video, and we can't wait to hear about your incredible progress.
Thank you for being part of our Easy English community. Until next time, Keep practicing. Keep believing in yourself. And remember, 10 minutes a day is all it takes to change your life.